Hello, peoples of the internet. We are the Emerald Guardians. My name is Jaden, and today we are bringing you another Subnautica tutorial. This one is a build tips and tricks kind of thing. So, in case these are to showcase some of the things you might not have known about building bases, and to help you expand your knowledge about what you can put where and such. So, with that out of the way, let's get right into it. The first thing we should get out of the way is what pieces we will be building with today. So the first piece is the standard I-tube connector along with its glass variant. Both of these are useful for building long stretches or connecting two pieces that don't fit together. Next we have our curved elements, the standard curved piece and its glass variant, both of which can be used to round corners or make it turn around a mountainside or something like that. Next we have our attachments, which are windows, reinforcements, and hatches, all of which can be used for decoration purposes or utility. Next, we have our T connector and our X connector, which are good for intersections where you want more than one pathway or just overall making your base expansive. Lastly, we have our vertical connector, which can be used to build your base vertically up and down. The first thing I'd like to showcase in this tutorial is that these I-tubes here, they can be stacked on top of each other in a certain way. As you can see, if you have one path going horizontally and another path going perpendicular to that, you can actually stack it with a ladder on the inside so you can get from one floor to the next. However, this works in both cases where there is a solid I-tube on the bottom, a glass tube on top of it, or a regular I-tube on top of it. And as you can see up on the next level, glass cannot be put on top of glass. However, glass can be put on top of regular I-tubes. And again, the I-tubes can't go on top of glass, but that is because the glass has to be on the top layer. As you can see here, they don't connect. And up here they don't connect because the glass cannot be the bottom layer of one of these connections. And as you can see with the windows and the ladders on the inside, there's a ladder going both up and down here because glass is on top with a regular and a regular, and there is a regular here, ladder as you can see going into the glass, but it cannot connect to the glass on top. So that's just some fun little thing in case you wanted to know. The other thing is you can put them, so you can put them parallel to each other, like one stacked on top of the other, but sometimes the connections are a little funky with that, so personally I recommend trying to avoid that if you can. But yeah, stacking I-tubes. The next thing I'd like to talk about is ladders. So ladders can be used to traverse your different layers of your base. They can go through any of these sort of tube connectors, going from one layer to the next. As you can see, the pieces, it does not matter about their orientation. The ladders can just go right through them and connect all of them nice and easily. The ladders can be as tall or as short as you like. They do have to, they have to be at least one block tall. You can't just place a ladder as decoration. But they can be as tall as you want. There is no limit as far as I know. So as you can see, instantaneous travel to the top and back down. And the ladders will also stop you at every point that you have a break in the ladder. So as you can see over there on that example, we stopped at all 4 different points. Well, over here we're going to do the same thing. We're on floor number 1, floor number 2, floor number 3, and floor number 4. Now this tall one, it took us all the way up instantaneously because that was the only stop. These, however, the ladders will stop us at each individual layer so that it can give us a break and we can tell which floor we're on based on our surroundings or however you build your base. The next topic I'd like to talk about is hatches. So I have a lineup here of every building habitat place in the game, and I have put hatches on all the places that I know you can put on them. If I missed one, just let me know. But here we go. So this is the curved tube, the regular one, and the hatches can be placed on both the ends and nowhere else. This is the regular I-tube. Hatches can be placed on the top, bottom, both of the sides, and or both of the long sides and both of the short sides. The same thing goes for the T connectors, top, bottom, all four sides, and the X connectors, top, bottom, all four sides. As we move on to the glass compartments, as you can see, they can go on both sides and the bottom, however not on any of the other sides. And the glass curved compartments, they can only go on the two sides that it's used to connect. As far as I'm aware, vertical connectors cannot have hatches on them, period, whether it is on the bottom or the top. That may be changed later, but I believe it's finalized for now. Multi-purpose rooms can have hatches on all 8 sides, not the top nor the bottom, and that looks wicked. Next we reach our scanner room. The scanner room, I don't really know how to describe where the hatch can go, other than when you're looking at the top, the hatch can really only go on the side with the spinny antenna. That's the best way I'm gonna put it. But no matter how you orient it, I've found that it can only go on that side. So no top, no bottom, and no anything else. The Moonpool can have hatches on all 4 sides normally, but not on the top or the bottom. And lastly, the observatory, the 360 degree of awesomeness, it can go on the opening side. The next topic will be Moonpool rotation and scanner room rotation. So if you go to the top of both of these buildings, you'll notice that they're not actually completely symmetrical. Now, excluding the solar panel, I need that just to use this as a demonstration. But for the Moonpool, this spinny gadget is currently on the back side. I'm calling where the solar panel is the front, and the multi-purpose room back there the back. So, and that it's important that it's in the back, because when I ride into the Moonpool, like you would do from getting back from exploring, the spinny-doo, which I'm calling the back, it's currently right above this area, right up here, and it is actually where the back of whatever ship or whatever vehicle you use to park here. So it will always rotate so that the back of the vehicle is towards the spinny-doo. And when you get back in from either side, you can actually go right back out, and it always points you in the same direction no matter what, which I think that's pretty cool. Another thing about the Moonpool is, as far as I know, you can put just about any room, any wall, hatch, window, whatever, on any side. The vehicle console bay inside can also go on any wall, so that's pretty handy. And overall, I will say, you probably do not need a hatch in here, just because the Moonpool already has access through these ladders, but hey, I mean, you play the game how you want to play. So next we're going to talk about the scanner room. There's actually not a whole lot to it, as far as I'm aware. The things on top don't matter too much. However, the one with the spinny gadget can have a hatch on it. The other one, just this little doodad, cannot. However, you can put just about any type of room on either side. Something fun, well, sort of fun, about the scanner room is that it comes with 2 little cameras that just sit in these 2 little side pockets here. Now both of these are gone because they were stolen by stalkers. Stalkers like to play with metal things, and thus, well, here they are. The stalkers are just playing the cameras, just chilling. But anyway, yeah, that is the scanner room and the Moonpool rotation and just overall tips. The next thing I'd like to talk about is multi-purpose room stacking. So as you can see here, they can be stacked in all sorts of different ways. As far as I know, there is not a limit to how many you can stack in a row, which is interesting, I guess. Means you could just have a whole tower of multi-purpose rooms as your base if you wanted. But anyway, so when building multi-purpose rooms, and you eventually, as you progress through the game, you will find this alien containment. You can actually put this inside the multi-purpose room. This is the only room that the alien containment can go in, and as you can see, not much space around it, but it's a giant aquarium that fish can repopulate in, which is pretty cool. So if we go up this ladder here, oh, by the way, stacking multi-purpose rooms will also allow you to it'll also allow you to have a bigger fish tank, which is kind of cool. Something I wanted to show you guys is that up here, if you put a hatch and a ladder on the same square, you actually cannot move. So you either have to go up the ladder, down the ladder, or into the aquarium, which is pretty cool. At the bottom, there's a little planner you can use for fun stuff, and you can have all of these hatches on all four sides to get in and out of your aquarium. Going up, you can also have a top-down view if you have an empty multi-purpose room on top, which is pretty cool. However, you cannot place a hatch on top of here, which I'm not a huge fan of. I wish we could, but I see how it would be kind of weird. As far as I know, there's also not a limit to how many alien containments you can stack, so, you know, go nuts with that. Something to be wary of is that if you are building your alien containments, or just bases in general, pretty low to the ground of any biome that spawns fish very frequently, as you can see, well, right in front of us, there's a stalker who managed to get himself glitched and trapped in here. And above him, oh, there he is. There's the little biter. He spawned in here just because of how pretty close to the ground we are. So that's something to be wary of when you're building these kinds of rooms. Inside of tubes and such, they are a lot less common to spawn in. All the fish and everything. However, there's still a chance. Something of note, you can put eggs inside of these alien containments, and those will eventually hatch and turn into whatever creature. However, if you manage to catch a stalker egg and put it in here, it will not hatch and spawn this big. This one actually glitched inside of this alien containment, which is why he is oversized. Something funny I just kind of saw. But anyway, the next thing about multi-purpose rooms is that you can stack a whole bunch of different things inside of them, one on top of the other. So this is a bioreactor. You get its parts around the world. It can be stacked on top of a nuclear reactor, which can be stacked with water filtration and alien containments. They really don't care which order they're in. You can put one on top of the other, it doesn't matter. And you can have them all in the same stack, all different, or you don't even have to have them. Something interesting I did find out, I was surprised to figure this out, is that on top of alien containments, you can put bioreactors and nuclear reactors, and in the same room, you can put water filtration around the sides. Now, it's a little glitchy and kind of weird getting in and out, but this is, I mean, I don't know, it kind of ruins the view, but this was just really interesting to find. And lastly, about these multi-purpose rooms, is that, as you can see, you can stack them in sort of a weird fashion. However, there is no way to, in this little gap here in the middle, there is no way to put a ladder there or anything like that. So if you stack them like this, do note there is no way to put them together in any sort of fashion. But yeah, the multi-purpose room is a really interesting room. It's the only room that can house pretty much everything I just showed you, and yeah, just check him out. I have no idea how he glitched in there, but you know what? Whatever. I'll go with it. The last tip I'd like to talk about in this episode is power transmitters. So these little things right here, used in combination typically with solar panels or thermal plants, can be used to power bases. They can transmit the power in all sorts of ways. Now I know some of you might be thinking, well, this has to do with power and not base building, except when you find a pretty big vent like this inside of the jelly shroom caves, and you take a minute to, or actually this probably took me about 15 minutes to put them all here, but if you take a minute to put all these thermal plants here, and you line up all the power transmitters how you want it, all of the sudden, instead of just a whole bunch of power, this can actually become a part of your base. This can look really, really cool if you do it in the right way. Now, I did kind of just spam them all over the place. Sometimes they want to be way on top of the walls, sometimes they want to be right down here next to the power sources, and sometimes they just want to be in their own place. Way up on the side of the hill where the heat shouldn't really get to them, but you know, however that works. So yeah, power transmitters in combination with either solar panels or thermal plants can be really, really cool and effective if used in a neat way. As you can see, this tiny power transmitter up here, it grabs the power from this entire web of transmitters, and it pours it all into the base. Now this little blue line connecting them, I mean, I'm iffy on that. I don't really care either way, but I mean, this whole web of just blue lines everywhere, I think that's pretty cool. But anyway, guys, that'll be it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope some of these tips and tricks helped you figure out what you can do, where you can put things, etc., etc. I didn't cover everything, but don't worry, there will be 2 more tutorials coming out, at least 2 anyway, in the near future, so look forward to those. But that has been all for today. We are the Emerald Guardians. My name is Jaden, and we will see you guys in the next video. Take care.